Level 1. You rig the sports. Tonight, one of the most important matches in the world is happening. The World Cup Final. You turn invisible, walk into the stadium before kickoff, place $50,000 on the underdog, and step onto the pitch while the band is still playing and the players are still warming up, and not one of the 90,000 people here knows there's an extra person on the field tonight. In the 23rd minute, when the opposing striker has a clear advantage and is about to shoot, you trip him. He goes down hard. The entire stadium erupts in disappointment. He looks around on the ground for whoever fouled him and finds nobody. His teammates help him up. The crowd boos thinking he dove. You do it 2 more times in the second half and leave before the final whistle, $50,000 turning into $400,000. You expand to the Champions League, NBA, NFL. Enough variety to avoid creating a pattern. Enough consistency to end the year with $8 million from matches that millions of people watched on TV without knowing the outcome had been decided before the opening whistle. Then one match you decide to trip a striker from a particularly strong team. He weighs 200 pounds and is running at full speed, and his foot comes straight down onto yours with the force of someone who has no idea anyone is standing there. You can't scream, can't fall, can only silently limp off the pitch while 90,000 fans are roaring and 3 bones in your foot might have just snapped. You hobble out of the stadium in the dark, and you spend 2 weeks in the hospital with a story about a cycling accident that nobody believes but nobody questions. 3 months later, UEFA announces an investigation into the Champions League final after high-speed cameras capturing 8,000 frames per second detected what they describe as an unidentified force acting on players. YouTubers call it a ghost. Journalists call it evidence of high-tech interference. You watch the press conference on TV and realize the window is closing. Profit, high. Fast money, easy work, just physically exhausting. Risk, low. Level 2. You steal. You don't target banks or jewelry stores. You target people who can't call the police if they lose money. Drug lords, corrupt officials, people with safes in their homes containing things that don't exist on paper. You spend a week invisible inside police stations reading open investigation files, building a list of names, addresses, and the gap between declared assets and actual ones. The first target is a smuggling boss in Miami living in a villa with cameras everywhere and 4 bodyguards on duty around the clock. You walk straight through the gate invisible, past each guard, into the bedroom, through every drawer, under every rug, until you find a safe sitting beneath the hardwood floor inside the walk-in closet. You go through his pockets while he's asleep on the bed to get the key, open the safe, and stand there, looking at what's inside. $1.2 million in cash stacked in neat bundles, gold bars in a row, diamonds in a Ziploc bag, all of it sitting in a steel box while the man who owns it snores 2 meters away, completely unaware. You take 40%, lock the safe, put the key back in his pocket, and leave. He won't notice anything is wrong for weeks, and when he does, he'll suspect someone in the house first. You do this at 10 different locations over 4 months and walk away with over $6 million in cash, gold, and diamonds. Then you realize $6 million in cash stuffed into duffel bags buys you nothing. You can't deposit it because it has no origin. Can't buy property because that requires paperwork. Can't invest because that requires a legitimate account. You sit in the middle of all that money and understand this is the next problem to solve. You learn to launder it. Shell companies, real estate transactions through intermediaries, running money through layered accounts in countries that don't ask many questions. 6 months later, it's clean enough to spend. The risk doesn't come from the police. It comes from one of your targets hiring a private investigator, and the thermal cameras inside the house starting to record strange things. Doors opening on their own, objects shifting, footprints appearing on the carpet with no one walking through. He doesn't know what it is, but it's enough to start an investigation that could trace back to you through the evidence you left behind. Profit, medium, not sustainable. Risk, moderate. Level 3, you stalk celebrities. It starts simply enough. You turn invisible at places where paparazzi have to stand behind barriers for hours to get a blurry shot. Backstage at concerts, hotel rooms, private dinners. You stand half a meter away and capture moments that no amount of money could buy access to because no one is supposed to be standing there except you. TMZ pays $80,000 for the first set. Another outlet pays $150,000 for the second. Every day you follow a different celebrity and come back with a new set. You send the files through a middleman, collect the money into an account in the Cayman Islands, and nobody knows who the mysterious photographer is. Then one evening, you turn invisible inside a hotel room belonging to an A-list actor in New York, there to take a few candid shots the same way you always do. He just finished a press tour for his new film. His wife is in LA with the kids, and this $8,000 a night room was supposed to have one person in it. Supposed to. The woman who walks out of the bathroom is not his wife. You recognize her immediately because she's also an actor, also married, also just finished a press tour for a different film in the same city. The two of them are laughing together in the way people only laugh when they think no one is watching. You're standing less than 2 meters away, completely invisible, camera still in hand. You take 40 shots in 10 minutes, every angle, enough that there's no other way to explain what's in the frame. Then you sit down on the sofa in that same room, less than 3 meters from them, and think about what comes next. That night, you print one photo, slide it under his hotel room door, and leave. In the photo is him and her. In the bottom corner is a phone number bought with cash at a convenience store 3 blocks away. He calls at 6 a.m. The first thing out of his mouth is not a negotiation, but a threat. Invasion of privacy, extortion. He has the best legal team in Hollywood, and he will bury you. You let him finish and say, "I have nothing to lose, and you have everything to lose." He goes quiet long enough for you to know he's doing the math. After 15 minutes of back and forth, he says he's willing to pay $5 million, but wants to meet in person to watch you delete the photos himself. You agree and turn invisible before walking into the building. He's already in the room with his lawyer and 3 bodyguards he thinks you don't know about, all of them watching the door waiting for someone to walk in while you've been standing in the corner for the past 10 minutes. We hear him whisper to the 3 bodyguards, "When I give the signal, grab it." You stand in the corner and understand why he insisted on meeting in person to watch the deletion. You let them sit long enough to start looking around before you speak from the dark corner. The entire room flinches at once. The lawyer shoves his chair back. He stands up. The 3 bodyguards spread into a line and begin sweeping every square meter of the room the way people trained to find things they can't see. Sweep a room, closing the distance until one of them touches your arm and grabs on. You get out, but only just. That night, you text back, and this time there is no meeting, no lawyer, no agreement to sign. Just one message. $20 million, transferred within 24 hours, or every photo and video goes to the 10 biggest outlets simultaneously, with a separate copy for his kids. He knows you have backups in places his security team will never find. He knows the meeting just failed, and he knows whoever is holding these things can walk into anywhere he can't see. $20 million hits the account 19 hours later. A few weeks later, you notice something shifting. The celebrities you used to follow start showing up with heavier security. Hotel rooms get swept for devices before check-in. Concert backstages have thermal cameras installed in corners that didn't have them before. Nobody announces anything. No public statements. Just an entire industry suddenly becoming more careful in the same way at the same time. As if someone sent out a warning in a group chat you were never invited to. $20 million in the account, but the revenue stream just closed. Profit, very high. Risk, high.